The power of romance. Oh, believe in the power of romance.
That's such a good question.
The power of romance films.
That makes me believe in romance.
Oh, there's so many good ones.
Put a timer for a minute and I'll spew.
Letterboxd is crazy. Y'all are asking the most hard-hitting questions.
I just rewatched Titanic recently, and I was like, oh my god. I remember I was like, wait, I don't know which one I had more of a crush on, like Leo or Kate. I was like, I think I was in love with both of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sexy. That movie, they're so sexy.
Or even sensual.
And it's so funny, James Cameron, like, being such a, like, technological, like, kind of freak, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's also so locked into the sexy.
Yeah.
Like, which I found, I was like, I'm watching it with, like, a whole new eye.
Let's do Kate's movie, Eternal Sunshine.
I love Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine is like forever favorite. It changed my life.
I don't know why I'm gonna say this, but Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think that it kind of encapsulates the entire spectrum of what romance means.
I just watched When Harry Met Sally, and I think that there's such a beautiful hope in that film about, you know, you never know the person next to you could be the love of your life, and in this crazy time, that's an exciting thought.
I mean, all like the Nora Ephron films are the ones that kind of like inspired this in a way. I grew up watching, you know, When Harry Met Sally all the time, and, you know, You've Got Mail and those films.
There's a lot. All those rom-coms, you know, like You've Got Mail or When Harry Met Sally, those were really beautiful films.
I've seen When Harry Met Sally over and over and over again. I love Meg Ryan. I love Billy Crystal.
Remind me of the film with Michelle Williams and Ryan Gosling.
Blue Valentine.
Blue Valentine. That's a really nice film about love. Sad end of the spectrum, but profound as well, right?
I feel like boys love this film, About Time, but I love that film so much. When she walks into the church to the song that her that Bill Nye loves, was it da 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 da? That, you know, when she comes up in the red dress.
Love Actually.
Looking to tell straight in the eye.
yeah. Taking it.
Any opportunity I get to look him in the eye and say,
Yeah, exactly. Love Actually.
I'm gonna go Notting Hill and Love Actually. There you go. We're gonna keep it centered around London.
I mean, I think Richard Curtis does, all of his films do such a beautiful job of painting an honest but romantic idea of love. I love Notting Hill. I think that's a really beautiful one. Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Gotta have Notting Hill. The best romance for me of all time. It's just so beautiful. It feels so effortless.
I love the Joe Wright Pride and Prejudice. I think it's so swoony. There's a good Pride and Prejudice shot in The Wedding Banquet that I hope people pick up on.
What's a film that makes me believe in romance? Something's Gotta Give by Nancy Meyers. That's a good one. If you're gonna say Keanu Reeves, I'm ditching you in Paris, you better be in motherfucking love with Jack Nicholson.
The Holiday. Love The Holiday. That was a classic in our house growing up. Jude Law, again, being brilliant.
I'd say Past Lives for sure. The fact that they actually connected is like kind of a miracle.
I love Past Lives. I love it.
All throughout my friend Celine Song's Past Lives is a perfect, beautiful little slice of romance.
I love the Before movies. I mean, Linklater's Before movies are, you know, some of my favorite movies, and because it's such a real romance.
Linklater's Before trilogy for me is the most romantic. That's it. All three of them. And I can never figure out which is my favorite, because every time I go back to Before Sunrise, I'm like, oh, that's the best. It's the most innocent. But Before Midnight is so raw and beautiful and devastating.
I think Before Sunset is the most, the one that make me really touch.
Love and Basketball. I just think that's one of the most beautiful films ever made, and it's about sports, it's about love, it's about being black, and I just think all of those things combined just make an amazing film.
I really like Love and Basketball. That's like a really good movie.
10 Things I Hate About You, I love. Legally Blonde, I love. Moonstruck is huge.
Moonstruck. I love The Quirky Love Story, and I love Cher. And Nick Cage.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola. Underrated. I've crossed oceans of time to find you. Oof, and I mean, just to be a vampire.
Mine could be a bit morbid, but Atonement.
I don't know. There was something that was so romantic and tragic. All of that is so good in a movie.
Dirty Dancing, The Hunger.
Oh, The Hunger. That's also romantic. The man that has ruined me for all other men, because no one will ever compare. Dirty Dancing. There's not been a man ever since who's been as hot as Patrick Swayze.
Oh, Some Like It Hot. The scene where he kisses her and he's like fully in his dress. And he kisses her, and it's just the most amazing, beautiful moment. I love that.
I have watched Marilyn Monroe's Some Like It Hot multiple times, and that is the quintessential thriller romantic comedy of anything that I've ever seen.
I actually kind of see The Apartment as one. Yeah. You know? I mean, even though it has its serious side, that it speaks to me in terms of, romance and love. There's a film called A Little Romance. It's an incredible film about first love. It's a first love film. It's really due for like a research. People have to hear about it again. A Little Romance, check it out.
Okay, well, the first one that came to mind is Blue is the Warmest Color. I mean, such a beautiful film.
I have only one title in my head, is Call Me By Your Name. I don't know. I was shocked that I'm crying, but I cried very hard.
Bridget Jones. I say that all the time. God, I'm like a broken record. Love that film. It makes me so happy. Watch it when I'm heartbroken. Watch it when I'm loved up.
I loved the parallels that someone drew to Mr. Wallaker and Captain Von Trapp.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna go with the old Sound of Music.
Some of the first films I watched and fell in love with were like Cary Grant films. And films like those old films like Holiday, Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn.
Philadelphia Story.
Yeah, just like those deeply romantic, deeply funny, when you kind of, who's going to end up with who somehow, but it's just that journey of getting there is just so rich and it's great.
I'm thinking of the second chapter of Chungking Express, which is about just this deep longing for this mythic sort of figure that you cannot possess. And I think there's something really beautiful about that.
In the Mood for Love, I love watching that movie, Wong Kar-wai. I mean, that film is a mood. It's so sensual and absolutely spectacular.
Tom Tykwer, you mentioned the Decalogue, his adaptation or his taking over of Kozlowski's Heaven for Giovanni Ribisi. So I was the only person in the theater. The movie ended. I watched the whole credits. I was broke. The lights came up, the usher came in. I said, hey, do you mind if I watch it again? And the guy said, yeah, nobody else is coming in here, sure. I don't know, it's like this mythic idea of love, of romance.
My first time really believing in love, it was definitely watching things like Love Jones and Love and Basketball, Poetic Justice, a lot of films like that. I think Love Jones is just one of those ones that dealt with certain issues that the other films hadn't, and it wasn't so much about how cool the guy was. That was my favorite part, It wasn't so much about the machismo or the star athlete gets the girl. That was a cool dissection of not only love, but black love and how we view ourselves within the relationships we're in.
Pursuit of Happiness, the one with Will Smith, like father-son relationship can be romance.
I mean, Love Lies Bleeding is pretty strong indicator of what you'll do for love. I don't know how romantic it was per se, but people in tough times coming together, that's pretty romantic.
I do think Dangerous Liaison for me is super romantic, also because it's a period movie. So I really, really, really love that world. It's very fairy tale-like, and John Malkovich in that, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and Glenn Close. It is very romantic.
Oh, itu gampang buat aku jawabannya. Film paling romantis yang pernah aku tonton, Her. Pedih tapi manis, tapi tragis, tapi pokoknya gila banget lah.
Kalau angle-nya romantis, kayaknya Weathering with You. Karakternya bilang, aku lebih menginginkanmu daripada melihat langit biru.
Maybe Ali Theory's The Soul by Rainer Werner Fassbinder. The love in that film is so pure.
Ooh, of all time, that's tricky too. Reds, maybe? Or Sleepless in Seattle?
Casablanca's not bad.
Yeah. That's alright, yeah.
Brief Encounter is not bad. That's alright what about too. a bit of Romeo and Juliet?
It's alright, yeah.
It's pretty romantic.
Notting Hill.
Yeah. Notting Hill, 4 Days at a Funeral.
I love a rom-com. I hope that they continue to get made.
Charming, sweet rom-coms. They always make you fall in love with the characters.
The reason why I love them so much is because it's one of the few genres these days that allows me to just write movies and direct movies about people. And a lot of Letterboxd reviews too, they say like, oh my God, what a surprise. They got together in the end. I knew it the whole time. But it's such a cool feeling to see everyone jumping up and down and laughing and walking out and talking about this and that and leaving the theater in a good mood.